get the latest on that election now. I'm joined by Deji Badmus. We can cross over to him in Lagos. Deji, what would you say are the key issues, though, that have underlined campaigns ahead of this crucial election?
Well, the three key issues, Beatrice, would be the economy, security, and of course the war against corruption. And that's quite understandable. In 2015, when this government came on board, or when it was campaigning to come on board, it campaigned basically on those three issues. And what the opposition has tried to do with this campaign now is to take on the government on those three issues, to try to demonstrate and show that the government has actually not lived up to expectation on those three key issues and that it can do better. So it's no surprise at all that at almost all the rallies we've had, both for the main opposition party and the ruling party, these three key issues have been the key points being talked about. Even today, when they had their rallies, the three issues came up. But you know, the position of the government is that it has succeeded in at least checking Boko Haram, bringing the security situation in the northeast under control, and that the economy is now back on track. Of course, you know, it came out of recession sometime in 2016, and that in terms of corruption, the government says it is doing well. But then the opposition says the government has failed on all three fronts, and it is now campaigning, you know, convince Nigerians that it can actually do better on those three scores. Beatrice?
Deji, it is barely 48 hours to that crucial election, and we have seen the leading candidates there signing a peace accord. Could you describe the atmosphere on the ground across the country?
Well, I mean, as you would expect, in some places, of course, there is tension, but not so tensed. In Lagos, for instance, everywhere is calm. People are expectant, people are waiting to cast their vote. I have spoken to a lot of people from different parts of this country, and what most of them tell me is that, look, for them, they just can't wait for this election to come and go. So there's that eagerness for the whole process to just come and go, you know, because of the tension we've had before now, the campaigns generating tension and what have you. But, you know, it's something that we've always seen with elections in this country. At the end of the day, the election will come, it will pass. We expect that there wouldn't be any major incident at all, despite some of those incidents we've had now. I'm talking about the fire incidents now we've had at some INEC offices, but nonetheless, we expect that a lot of people expect that the election will pass without any major incident. And of course, those who will win, those who would eventually win would of course celebrate, and those who would lose would complain and basically head to the court. So that's the expectation of everyone. Everyone expects that the election would be peaceful, but that is not to say that, you know, you wouldn't have, you know, some cases of isolated problems now here and there. But the security agencies have assured that they are up to the task to deal with any security problem or any challenge at all that may rear its head. So,
Deji, basically, there is quite a lot of stability around this election. But what about those areas that had been affected by Boko Haram? What about those areas that have witnessed insecurity, like in the northeast?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. It's a huge challenge, especially when you consider what happened to the governor of Borno State yesterday, when his convoy was attacked, and the kind of rhetoric now coming out of ISWAP, that's the Islamic State in West African province, another faction of Boko Haram. But INEC has said it is ready to conduct the election in the northeast of the country. INEC has designated voting centers, so election will take place in some IDP camps. Those IDP camps now have been identified, and they've been communicated to the people there. So INEC insists that election would take place there. We had a similar problem in 2015. An election actually took place in the northeast of the country. So I do not expect that there will be any exception this time around. And the most important thing is that the security agencies have said they are up to the task, that they would ensure that there's no major incident. Of course, it's quite worrying what we saw happen to the governor, the convoy of the governor yesterday. But other than that, the security agencies here are assuring everyone that The people of the Northeast will vote. Voting will take place in those IDP camps, and we just have to wait and see how everything pans out. So the expectation is that the security guys would do their job, and that INEC too would do their job as well.